this is the reason I chose this one. For the only simple reason about it, oh, these are good, they're approved by insurance companies. You know why they're approved by insurance companies? Because insurance companies has bought so many of these programs they have tweaked it to benefit them and not us. So that's why the one that you're talking about, the one that's WebEx, I believe that's the name of it. Is that right? Carlos. Is this the one that you were talking about that you have?
WebEx, yeah.
Yeah. So WebEx, the reason they don't choose that is because these guys are mavericks. They don't want to deal with the insurance company. They in fact, the source of WebEx is Mitchell. Okay. It says, well, once you get the program, why do you need it? Why do you have to pay the monthly fee? Why is that? Well, for the simple reason is that parts get, I don't know what happened to the little rags that were around here. I just
Price change?
The prices change on the parts.
It should have been. Nobody should have touched them.
Yeah. Anyway, the prices change every month. Every month the prices for parts change. And not just the OEM parts, because now these programs are built in so that they'll kick in the aftermarket parts too.
Awesome.
All
works together.
Yeah, they all work together. So like, let's say, I'm writing an estimate, oh, you know what? Oh, this particular part is $1,500. I don't know, a light maybe. All of a sudden, when you're gonna total it, boop, 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 oh, that light is not $1,500 anymore. That light is now $988. What happened? I like the $1,500 price. No, the computer found a better price. And so that's what it does. That's why the insurance companies like it. That's basically. So
does it have something to order your parts through there as well? Or?
They do in the management system, or they have what they call it. It's kind of like a parts locator. They're set up for the shops that are DRPs. You guys don't know what a DRP is? It's direct repair facility. What happens is, oftentimes, let's say you got a city, and let's say at any given time in Las Vegas here, there's maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna go with a nice clean figure, 150 body shops, okay? Out of 150 total body shops. And this is just from my knowledge. I don't know, I never did accounting. I don't want to waste my time counting. But this, so we've got 150 shops. Okay, now maybe 40 of them are full-blown body shops. 40 are all, they have all equipment. They need to have, they have a management system, they have a booth, you name it. They got welding equipment, all the things that a shop should have that the insurance companies would grade them on, they have these 40 shops.
That's what the insurance, they go by grades as far as when they come into your shop.
They come to, let's say that an insurance company wants to consider you, or let's say you call them and say, I'd like to become one of your DRPs. DRPs are great because you don't ever have to do any marketing. They provide the paperwork for you. They provide the people, the customers and all that. And the way they get away with it is this. I'm kind of going on a tangent, but anyway, so that leaves maybe another 30 shops that they want to be here. They want to be where these guys are, okay? But they're not there yet. Their crew is not up to par with iCar, because you gotta touch all the angles, you know. So you got as part of this 40 shops, you got a lot of iCar qualified people. Right? So, anyway, so basically, these 40 shops in town are basically the cream of the crop. You're probably going to have another maybe 15 shops that they do custom work, including restoration work and reconditioning work on older cars. For example, if you were to go to my wife's shop, which is Classic Auto Body West, and your car happens to be a 2012 car, let's say 2012 Elantra. Okay, they're gonna say, so sorry, your car's too old for us. You can go here, you can go there. Because they don't repair cars older than 10 years. 10 years is the maximum. So they get picky. They only want the good stuff, you know.
Smart.
All right. But so you got this, and then I don't know what's left. You got 40, 30. What is that? 85. So the rest of the shops got 40.
Another 65 more.
So 65 more are these people are just starting out. And it's just starting out, and at this point they'll take anything. You know, they'll take anything that comes through the door that can make them money, basically, right? So this is just my own learned opinion of the shops in town. So going back to the insurance companies, so all of these guys are out. So they're gonna pick, let's just say, for example, AmFam. Does anybody know what AmFam is?
I think it's an American Family Insurance.
Exactly. So AmFam is, you know what, we need to get set up, when it all started, is that, well, we need to set up maybe 4 or 5 shops that are in different parts of the city that we can set them up as DRPs, and we gotta go, they target these shops. Why? Because they have all the shit that they're supposed to have. Okay? So they'll go there and they say, yeah, we'd like to make you a DRP. We want to send you, we're gonna send you probably 150,000 a month of claims. And if you're an owner of a shop, you know, sure, yeah, boom. Okay, this is what's happened. So the AmFam DRPs are now DRP. So now these DRPs, so they have, let's just say they pick 5 shops. And they're all different parts of the city. A, B, C, D, and A, B, C, D, E, right? Something like that. Anyway, so 5 shops. So somebody calls in for a claim because they just got into an accident. Got into an accident and says, oh, you know, I have my policy number with AmFam is yada yada yada. I got into an accident, I got rear-ended, this and that, or it was my fault. I don't care. At the end of the conversation, they're gonna end up with a claim and they're gonna say this. They're gonna say, would you like to go to one of the AmFam reserve shops that guarantees all the work? You know, a direct repair facility for AmFam will be one of these guys, right? And they'll pick the one that's closest to that person. And now the customer has to decide, well, shit, If I go there, they're not gonna save me any money on the deductible or nothing, but at least they'll guarantee it. And a lot of people just really don't care. They just want their cars fixed correctly, and they will, because these guys don't want to lose that DRP situation, that DRP status. So they'll fix the car correctly. They'll fix it. They'll replace all the parts that they're supposed to replace, not fix it and pocket the rest of the money. All that stuff, all the gibberish that goes on. See, so that's what happens, and all the insurance companies are doing. Now it doesn't mean that now there's 40 shops and they pick 5 of them. Now you go to State Farm, they might have 7. State Farm. Anyway, what I'm trying to get is that all the insurance companies are now involved with where the car goes. And even though they'll tell you that you have the right to go to wherever you want, they're gonna make it kind of, well, you know, if you go there, we won't be able to guarantee. Bullshit, all the shops guarantee the work for a lifetime. But they have the backing of the insurance company. So let's just say it becomes a very, how would you say, becomes very
Problematic.
not problematic, but you know, you're a person and you don't know nothing about cars. You deal with clothing all day long because that's your business. But all of a sudden you got into an accident. Now where are you going to go? So you call the insurance company and says, we guarantee if you go to one of our DRPs, they'll guarantee the work for as long as you're in the vehicle, nationwide, mind you, okay? Because now, let's say we're over here in freaking Miami, okay, and Amsterdam is over there. So now what they're doing is says, well, you know, if you move to Miami, we'll be able to guarantee the work that Amsterdam in Vegas did, the repair shop in Vegas did, we can guarantee it over there in Miami. So it becomes very, how do you say?
Like a matter of preferences.
Yeah, it becomes.
Well, it's like, no, I know what you're talking about.
I know the talker, you know, he knows. What I'm getting at is like, it becomes convenient for a customer who don't give a shit about cars. They just want to get from point A to point B. Becomes very convenient for them to use that DRP choice. So basically, when keywords that you use is, let's say you're calling an insurance company because a good customer of yours wants you to repair his car. You know, so you have all the information about that, and then the keyword is, hello, this is Amtrak Insurance. Yeah, yeah, my name is Joe. I'm from what's the name of this place?
Avant-garde.
Avant-garde. And I have a customer that is dropping off his vehicle because we are his shop choice. These are keywords that you use with the insurance company. Shop choice.
So that could be done. So you could literally like have, say, an insurance guy to plug you in with people that get into wrecks if they want to come directly to you.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a DRPA in that instance to do that.
Well, that was old school. Old school was, you know, you go and see an agent, an insurance agent says, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you $200 for every customer you send me. Because in the old days, it wasn't all about calling in the 800 number and putting a claim everything on the phone. In the old days, you had to go to your agent and say, you know what, that insurance policy is on it. I'm going to use it now. I got into a wreck, and your agents were full service people. Agents nowadays, all they care is about selling insurance. They could care less about you because they already sold you, so they could care less. So now it's all through the phone, right? And all we need for you to send us some photos. They got virtual assist now, where you're basically it's like a FaceTime situation for the damage of the car. Oh yeah, could you show me where the door is, and can you show me the VIN number on the door? And now the insurance company is having you work for them. They don't. The service is not there no more. But eventually, so in other words, the shop's choice part of it is when you're not a DRP for a particular insurance company, and you're calling an insurance company that you deal with once in a while, whatever. But you tell them that I have a so and so's vehicle here, his claim number yada yada yada, and we are his shop choice. He's dropping it off now. Okay, that's oh shit. We're not going to be able to send that guy to the DRP that we want, but okay, he's going to go there. And they don't care.
So legally, you could do that. Though. You don't have to be a DRP to take insurance work.
No, you can no.
Yeah, perfect.
No, you can as long as you're technically licensed. But if you can as long as the only requirement you have the DRP. I mean the insurance company. If you work for insurance companies, at the end of the day. You're gonna have to fill out a W-9, and you need to have a federal tax ID number.
But if you have a business, you're good. Obviously, what we have.
Well, if you have a business, but you still have to have a federal tax ID number.
Well, most businesses have federal tax ID numbers, right?
Well, technically yes, but
No, so you have your corporation, you have your EIN, you have your federal tax, you have your Clark County. Clark County license, you have your state license. So if you have all of that and you have $1 million insurance, you should be able to get.
The rest keepers and all that stuff. Yeah, but many people use the ones that are really short. They use the owner's social security number. And the thing about that is, federal tax ID numbers start with. Let's say your social security number is 531 27 1104. Okay, so that's a regular federal social security number. You write it like that with the dash here, two hyphenated, and then 4 numbers. So 3, 2, and 4 numbers there, right? Normally, that's how the social security is. A tax ID number is, as an employer, it would be like, you would have to write it this way. 53, then 1, 2, 7, 1, 1, 0, 4. So that's the way you have to write it as hyphenated differently, so to speak. But then, it's getting so bad now with insurance companies that they can punch it up and say, "Well, that's only a social security number from Wazoo, Mr. Wazoo from whatever, that's the social security number." So I don't know what's all involved with a federal tax ID number. I had to get.
I'm just saying, for instance, I'm licensed, bonded, federal tax ID number. Business account, it's a corporation, I have everything. So that's what I'm saying.
Well,
as of that, I'm allowed to call an insurance company. Say if Carlos right here has his insurance and he wants to get his fenders and his front bumper done, he can come to me. We call it his insurance company.
Yeah,
let them know all the information.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, but now since you brought that up, the number 1 license for body shops is the DMV license.
So as long as you have your DMV license too, right? You're good.
Well, not 2, but
But that's one.
because I know people that get insurance work that don't have a DMV license.
Yeah.
I mean, they're my customers.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly all the particulars about getting a federal tax ID number for a business. What they are.
No, I already got it. I already have all that.
If you have that, then you don't have any problems. You just have to have an email so that you can get the SMS. And you have your tax ID number, email, a phone number they can get a hold of when something happens, and of course an address. You gotta have an address because that's where the check's gonna come. So that's how that goes.
Easy enough.
Okay, I guess, what happened to Maria's deal here? I gave you one of these, right? This is what that bailout that I gave you yesterday looks like, for, you may have you may have a way to write a receipt for a customer, but the reason you want to do one of these is, for one thing, you may not want to report that. You know, it goes through your invoices, regular invoices that you may have. But it also allows you to write as the day goes by, because at the end of the day, the storage fees keep changing all the time, from one day to the next. You know, every day that the vehicle is here is another $90 in your pocket. You know.
Is that the standard storage fee, 90 per day when you?
Yeah, the way, if you read if you read the rules or the guidelines for the DMV, which is kind of like the governing thing for here for Nevada, they go by the prevailing rate. The prevailing rate for Las Vegas is $60 an hour. I mean, $60 a day storage. But in the same thing, you missed yesterday, so all this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll watch the recording. You don't have to go back if this something.
The prevailing rate is 60, but you can go 1.5. So that means, hey, I don't have to go 60. I can go 90, and it's $90 storage per day.
Oh, he got about it yesterday.
Okay, so that's the situation with the insurance companies and DRPs and that sort of thing. Basically, the insurance companies, the reason they wanna have DRPs is so that they can control them. I said, what do you mean control them? Yeah, they can control you. This is they'll re-inspect cars there, because half of the cars that are in the shop are theirs because they send them to you, and so the quality of the repairs get better because the owner of that shop is not going to do anything to hurt that business relationship that they have with that insurance company. And there's many cases where you have a car, and for example, let's take a look at that 2018 Regal. I chose it because I think that's what he has.
Mm-hmm.
And that 2018, let's just say that, in my estimate, is written for a replacement of the front bumper cover. I don't know if you can see it there, but it should be there.
So this is the total estimate just for replacing that bumper cover?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm replacing the bumper cover and I believe the fender and the light. Where's a copy of that estimate? Do I have a copy for me?
Yeah. You needed to make a quick copy of one of these?
No. It's just that I thought I had a copy for me, or maybe because he showed up. That's why.
Yeah.
Did you do this?
Anyway.
Yeah, let's take a look at this.
Just take a look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the top, okay, when I first replaced that front bumper cover, if you could see the replacement of the front bumper cover is on line number 2. If you could see that, line number 2. Now, as you can see, it says remove and replace front bumper cover. And then you see that AA, and it has a number afterwards. That's supposed to be the number. You see what a difference it is between all the other numbers of the parts? But that one, that bumper was actually around $800. But the computer found one that's good enough to put on that car for a lot lesser price.
Yeah.
So that's this original estimate, before I punched it up to be total, as you can see, it came out to 35.65. Best estimate was at $3,800 before the computer found its way. Right? Anyway.
So basically, it's like an LKQ type of part.
No, it's an aftermarket part.
Oh, just straight aftermarket.
Yeah.
Just cheaper to use.
Yeah. Okay. But we called that yesterday AM Kappa.
Yeah, and the insurance company will pay for capital.
Right.
They will not. Basically, the non-capital stuff is when the shop just still wants to make a little bit more money. But see, here's where they pay for it later in the end, because the non-capital stuff, the one that's going to pay for it is the technician trying to make it fit, because it don't fit right. So the job that was supposed to have taken only half an hour to put it on, it's now taking an hour and a half, and the owner of the shop doesn't care because the technician's the one that has to deal with it. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, they got a cheaper price than the ones that the insurance company. So this happens. The DRP people oftentimes have an office inside that shop, so they get an adjuster assigned to that particular DRP shop. They even get a desk and everything. What happens is that person is there maybe 3-4 hours a day, and he makes all his appointments for them to come in during that time. You know, staggered every half hour. Boom, 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 boom. Now, they come in, and if the people want to leave the car, then the technicians have to tear it down within 45 minutes, so that the adjuster who's sitting in your office or his office, but in your facility, that person will go there and write up everything correctly. So now you got a car that's just given today, it's already torn down and it's already written up, which means the cycle time, which is the most important things insurance companies like, is the cycle time. That's how they grade a shop. How long?
Turnover? That's kind of like turnover
cycle time. Yeah. How soon they can get the work done. From the time that it came in to the time that it left. Because for them, that's the most important part. They don't want to have to pay for the rental more than they have to. So most people get like a 30-day rental for when they have a rental replacement on while the car's being repaired. They have 30 days, but insurance company, if they can avoid having to pay for the whole 30 days, and they on the top of the most insurance paperwork, the insurance estimates, you'll see days to repair, and they'll put down 7 days, 13 days, depending on what they see that the labor is involved and what's involved with everything, you know. So the way they compute it is by the hours, and they said, well, painting should only take 3 days, you know, because they're going to paint it all at once. So 3 days is painting, you know, that's including prepping everything, boom, boom. So it's going to repair. It's got 7 hours of repairs. They're gonna be 7 hours can be done all in one day, but they'll give you 2 days on 7 hours. So now that 3 days for painting and 2 days for the repairs, that's a 5-day repair. Now they'll start getting pissed off if that repair is already 7, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, you know, 14 days on a 5-day repair. We don't want to deal with these people.
Yeah.
Like that's their mentality, you know. So.
That cuts out about 80% of the people in the city. The shops. There's a lot of shops here, man.
Yeah, they flunk out on.
Yeah.
They flunk out on their cycle time, and so another thing that happens is it gets re-inspected. So the DRP people have the insurance guy there. Say, hey, so Mr. Robinson's car is almost ready to go. Let's go check it out. Boom. They'll go check it out. They'll open up the hood. This and that. You know, I paid you for a new lash and you still got the old fucking lash here. I'm going to take that lash back. You know, oh, I paid you for the hood adjuster. You know, the little thing that makes the hood go up and down to. I pay you for a new hood adjuster. Well, the old one's good. Yeah, but I'm gonna want that money back. You know, this is the kind of shit that goes on for DRPs. Where, you know, the adjusters, if they're doing this job, that's what they'll do. You know, and it just never ends, man. Those DRPs, you know,
So
they're
pretty much
pain
you
in the
gotta be
ass.
real nice to your dressers.
Yeah, well, yeah. Buy them lunch on Fridays and shit, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, they after a while you get to be kind of like co-workers, you know. So
Build a relationship.
anyway, the reason I gave you these drawings and all that is we're not really starting yet with estimating, but there's a huge amount of money that gets paid for something called R&I. R&I. Okay, R&I simply means remove and reinstall, as opposed to R&R, which means remove and replace. Okay, so So there are some advantages. I mean, like if you really are interested in getting your car fixed in many ways, so the only people that in this town, the only people that don't want to get their car fixed by DRP is the people that want to save money on their deductible. So technically, I'm not saying 100% of the time, but a good 80% of the time, it's like, well, if I take it over to Joe's body shop, who is not a DRP with anybody and he could care less, he'll save me half of my deductible, and I don't have to come up with 500. I only have to come up with 250 bucks, and he's gonna shortchange you because he's not gonna just give you 250. He's gonna take it out on the car. And what I mean by that is like if you were supposed to get let's just say a new headlight, you're now getting a recycle headlight that's fixed and maybe buffed out to look good. And the car looks great, the light works, but he took that money out of that brand new light he was supposed to buy and provided you with a used one or provided one that's repaired or something. So that's what happens when you start cutting corners because you don't want to pay your deductible. You know. It's human nature.
So insurance companies, they monitor DRPs a lot harder than they do.
Well, yeah, because they have them under control. They have them under control. It's just, you know why? Because they don't want to lose it, right? So this as well. So most of the time, the shops are doing everything correctly. If the estimate, they'll write everything and they do everything that estimate says, and that's how you get a good repair. But they're going to be checking. Your insurance company is going to be checking because they're also guaranteeing it. You know, so let's just say, for example, a DRP shop repaired a car and they forgot to reset. They forgot to reset something. I don't know, calibrate this. Calibrate something electrical, you know, like so many things that are electrical on a car. Let's just say
say reprogram
let's just say for example,
computer.
let's just say there's most cars now, modern cars, you know, have what they call let's just say a blind spot sensor. So what the fuck is that? You know. Okay, so you got a rear bumper of a car, okay, and there's your little reflector in the back and all that stuff, that's your rear bumper, right? Well, if you were to take it off the car, what happens is you're gonna find, you know, there's the light over here, and this is part of the deck lid, you know, trunk. Well, and then what you see is the rear body panel, where the bumper used to be. They took it off, right? And you know the rear body panel tends to kind of look like that with corrugated areas and what have you. And then what you find right back here is in the middle is most of the time in most cars it's your antenna fab for your click click, so your car would open. The antenna is there. But on the corners, over here in this corner and over here in this corner, there'll be a blind spot sensor. It alerts you when you're driving on the freeway or whatever, and some asshole, you can't really see him, but he's right behind you and you know, in that blind spot. And if he starts getting a little closer, it'll beep you, you know, whatever. And so now, let's say you forget to do that, to calibrate it, because you might have to take it to the dealer if you don't have a computer to actually calibrate that. So now it comes back, the owner comes back to that DRP shop and complains to, let's just say, Mario here. He's an adjuster who works there. Why? Because he got hired by AmFam, and he's their new novice adjuster over there at the shop, right? He said, yeah, oh, you know what, dude, forgot to calibrate this thing. And so that's complaint number one. They'll let us file it and take care of it, boom, boom, boom. They'll document this shit out of it and all that. Now, next week, another car, Mario. When you're going to do the QC. QC is quality control. When before the car goes out, you making sure everything works, that you don't have the radio blasting. Customers hate that, especially when you change the stations. That's a no-no. You don't want to do that because that just creates a bad vibe for you're getting in your car and all of a sudden you got like freaking jigaboo music fucking playing around and shit, you know, and hey, I like classical stuff, you know. So now this guy comes back and Mario again, he said, oh, well, shit, the customer complained that somebody had changed the radio station and they left the car dirty. They found a beer can underneath it, and they don't even drink beer. They're freaking Mormons, you know. So, okay, well, you know what? This is complaint number 2. This goes up to AmFam because Mario wants to keep his job, you know, and he has to report everything. So, boom. 2 weeks go by, and another car comes in and he says, hey, you know what? I hear a noise, and turns out that your technician left a tool and it fucked up the whole fan assembly inside there, and now this noise is going and the guy comes back and says, well, you know, what happened? Because the body shop is not the one that hears about it first, it's the guy from AmFam, Mario. So, oh shit, you know, they left the tool there and it kind of messed up the fan assembly. So now the shop is willing to replace the fan assembly because it got all fucked up. But regardless, that's complaint number 3. And it says, you know what, we gotta start looking for another shop. Because people are fucking up left and right. You know? So, and the owner of the shop gets involved in that meeting and says, they get a warning kind of thing. It says, you need to shape up because such and such a day, this happened, and such a day, this happened, and that happened. So you need to nip it on the bottom right away, boom, boom, and so you're gonna do everything in your power to maintain that. And there, the DRPs is good in the sense, because you're still getting paid for everything, you know, pretty decently. So it doesn't really pay that much to cut corners and stuff. Because especially if you don't want to lose that relationship they have. You know, I've known so many shops that are lots of, oh, we used to have State Farm, but they found out about shit, and so they cut us out. Last time I was involved with ERP situation, there was a shop called Metro Hyundai. There was a Hyundai dealership that was on Sahara.
Yeah, I see you there too. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your wife still works there?
My wife left there and has been a classic for 17 years.
Yeah, I remember you and your wife working there.
But you know John Galley then?
I'm not sure. I just remember you so much because I worked.
John Galley's at my old shop.
Oh really?
At 700 West Sunset.
So I went there for some.
But anyway, so we did $480,000 in 1 month. $480,000, just boom, boom, boom. I mean, boom. And I would say maybe 400,000 of it was all Geico, just by having that DRP, you know. So, wow, yeah, that was nice. I think I put a down payment on the pool that month. Anyway, it's going back to this. We're gonna get involved with learning how to estimate. Sure enough, before next week we're gonna start doing it with a computer. My computer here, my laptop. We're gonna have to figure out a way where I'm in the corner and maybe everybody can be around so that I can see what's going on.
I'll bring a monitor and we'll just connect your laptop to a monitor.
Okay, well,
there's a way to do that with your wireless signal.
Okay, well,
I'll do that for you.
How much is Mitchell to buy it? So?
Huh?
How much is Mitchell?
I pay $216 a month.
Also, it's monthly.
Yeah, they monthly because the prices change monthly. So they okay, let me put down here. Go ahead and fucking hate it, you know. That's how they do it. It's all technical shit, you know, because that's how they make their money, you know. And they're all monthly. CCC is monthly, except CCC is 400 or something.
Damn.
And Autotex is 300 and something. Mitchell, I made a deal because every customer that I deal with, the Nissan thing, I told them, hey, you go to Mitchell, and I basically silver tongued the salesman into giving me that price. So it's in me. It's a Kimmy thing, you know. We never pay retail for anything, you know. It's just my thing, you know.
Yeah. I agree.
Retail, what's that? I learned from one of my cousins, you know, it says, I like to get a bath, like one of those jacuzzis, because my bathroom is huge. So, you think he went to the showroom where they sell this stuff? No. He went around the back, acted like he was lost. Oh, excuse me, you know, like Colombo, you remember Colombo? Oh, excuse me. What do I get with these things, you know? It's kind of like an Italian thing too, you know? It's just, hey, you know, back in the days when those jacuzzis were like $7,000, he got one for like 2,500 installed in his house, in his bathroom. You know, you just go around, you know. Anyway, it's just my heritage.
Oh yeah. I had an uncle that was just like that. If I needed to get $50 and I would say, hey uncle, can I get $50? He would say, $35? What do you need $30 for? Here's 25. Catch it. I asked him for 50 and he would say, $35.
Oh yeah.
What do you need $30 for when you can just have 25?
Everybody has those type of relatives in their, you know, I get guys and say, oh, give me 3 5s for a 10.
Yeah.
What do you mean, 3 5s for a 10? You know, it's just...
That's like fake Cuban shit, man. It's terrible.
It is, because, you know, you wanted the right thing, you know, it's just, I don't know, a long time ago, I always try to do the right thing as best as I can, you know. I do, I really do. I was told by, there's a Cuban religion called El Palo. I don't know if you ever heard of it. And they was telling me a bunch of shit, you know, about the Cuban things and all stuff. In this particular case, he's telling me that, you know, we Cubans are, we're cursed. And for every bad thing that we do, our kids are gonna pay for it. Really? So I guess I must be good because all my kids are doing well. That's what I've got to say about that. But anyway, so if you, I want to pay attention.
There is some truth to that, let me tell you. Whether you're Cuban or not, I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
That's karma. That's how that shit works.
Yeah, it's karma. It's the American word for it.
Yeah.
Going back to, let's take a, I'm gonna take a little break and sit down for a minute. Let's go to the picture with the bumper. Do you have one of these? What's your name, Charles?
Mike.
Huh?
Mike.
Oh, Mike. So if you could see this picture of the bumper was when people think, oh, my bumper got hurt. Well, how many parts does this bumper have? This is his car. His car.
Sure is, yeah.
Okay.
That's
It
crazy.
says it right there. 2018 Buick Regal. Okay? So it's like, well, shit, man, I thought it was just a bumper. But, so, the trick to this thing is, if you ever get into an accident, your bumper falls off, take up the bumper and put it in the trunk, because there's all these other little parts that are still maybe good. And you're maybe saving yourself hundreds of dollars. If we were to price this out for every little part in here, you're looking at probably $3,000 worth of parts and shit, you know?
Easy. Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be that way. You don't leave things out in the accident scenes and stuff like that, you know. But that's how many parts are involved in this bumper, you see. Now, one thing that I do, and I didn't do it on this estimate, but I always teach my students, whenever you're writing an estimate and you gotta paint the bumper, don't R&I the bumper, overhaul the bumper, because you gotta take all the shit off and you get more money for it. But also, the insurance company doesn't know if it's a required a task to R&I the lights. The R&I is remove and install the lights. So let's say the lights are fine, but in order for you to take that bumper off, half the time you got to take the lights off to get to the bumper. Okay, so the insurance doesn't know which cars you can take the bumper off without the lights, and some of them do, but charge for it anyway because they don't know. As far as R&I these headlights that are, you know, these headlights will go, that light will fit right here. You see? So make sure you R&I both lights. They say, well, the damage is only on the left front by the fender, you know. Yeah, well, take off the right headlight too, because that's, you know, another 0.4, which is another $25, you know, whatever, you know. So take the time for that. Always when you want to write an estimate, you got to think about the painting of that vehicle, what's going to get painted. Okay, so when it comes to painting, you want to make sure that you take off anything that's in the way. So going to this fender, you say, well, what do I got to take off on this fender in order to paint it? The only thing that's available, you know, I got there's like a tweeter light here. I guess I got to take that off, you know, the tweeter light. Well, I already took off the light when I was taking off the front bumper, so I guess that's off. And well, that's inside the fender. I don't need to take that off. No, take it off. Take the fender liner off too. You don't want the worst thing that you could have is a white car and you never took off the fender liner, and now you painted the fender white, and the fender liner's got a whole bunch of white paint inside there. It looks horrible, and then you have to paint it black again, and then the paint starts falling off after 3 months because you never really prepped it. So just take the darn thing off. Take the liner off, and then whatever paint falls in there, it doesn't matter because the liner you're going back in there is going to hide it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So cover that up. There's many different ways. The only time that they, who's ever heard? I'm sure you've heard of blending.
Right.
Okay. So blending. In the old days, they used to have the the paint coat and everything like that was, you can kind of have what they used to allow color matching. Color matching was something that they paid for back in the day. They don't pay much more of that anymore because they allow you to blending. When iCar came up with, they came up with some blending rules. So I'm gonna show you here. Okay, so
yeah. That's why I did it. That's why I just turned this.
Pivot?
The pivot, yeah, the pivot's right here. Yeah, that's why I just fixed it.
anyway, so we got the side of the car. We started with the tires and the suspension, and we kind of hit a little bit on the frame yesterday. This is kind of starting on the actual body of the car. So like on that Buick, we needed to overhaul. Overhaul, it means we're gonna remove that bumper, and we're gonna remove it, but we're gonna take it all apart. We're gonna remove everything off of it. Okay. Then, because we're repairing this little dent here, there's a little dent right here, and when it got hit, it damaged right here. So, kind of like a scrape, and it's kind of scraped the light. So now, if it's deep enough, they'll replace it. But if it's not deep enough, they'll pay you to buff that little scratch of the light. But regardless, you still got to R&I the light. Got to R&I. That means remove this light, and eventually, once it's painted, you put it back on. So R&I, remove and install. So you get paid labor to do this task, R&I the light. Now, the fender is not really bad enough to replace the fender, so they pay you, let's say, for a hit like that, or proportionally by the ratio of this is about a 4-hour dent. Okay, so they're gonna pay you 4 hours. Pay that. Now, that means the fender will get repaired, and so the tech will get that.
Is that including paint time, or is that just body time?
No, this is just tech, body repair. Okay, we'll repair that. But then, that's all he has to do. He's gonna fix it, and he's probably gonna have, let's just say once, oh, here's another color. Okay, so once this gets fixed, it's a different thing. This thing is gonna end up with a whole bunch of primer all through that area there, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the blending rule is from this primered area to this door, it has to be less than 18 inches. So I don't think by the proportion that I kind of look at, it looks more like 7 or 8 inches, you know, before it starts hitting the door. So that means this door is going to have to be blended when they paint. They'll blend it.
It's like 8 inches off. 8
Yeah,
inches
the rule is
off
18
of-
inches.
Off
18
of the
inches.
dent, off of the where the primer starts.
With
From,
the dent.
18 inches from the dent, from the actual dent. And once the dent gets fixed,
No, but what I'm saying is like, so when you blend, you're coming from like right here, then you want to start from right here, 18 inches off this.
correct. Yeah. 18 inches. 18 inches is the threshold. So in other words, if you have 18 inches, let's just say that this dent wasn't here. This dent was only here. And now you can fix it. You can fix that dent, but now you still have more. Let's say now you got, 20 inches here.
Yeah, so now you could blend in that,
So
that panel.
now they expect you to do this. They expect you to blend the paint over here and forget about the door.
Might as well just paint the whole panel at that point.
Right. No, but it's all about the blending part. And it's not really so much about the blending, it's about how much money they're gonna give you.
Yeah.
So basically that's it. 18 inches from the adjacent panel. It's called an adjacent panel. This panel here is adjacent to this panel. It's just like this panel is adjacent to this.
So in your experience, painting just the whole panel, like instead of like, wouldn't it be more money to blend since there's more agents and more chemicals involved in a blending, and then just doing
Yeah, but
just
where
shooting
you,
the whole thing?
but where are you going to stop? Let's just say, oh,
At the
okay,
fender, it's
let's
one
say,
piece.
it's actually the painter's choice. But going back to, because I don't really want to get involved with this right now because that's estimating. What I want to do is teach you a little bit about how, let's say the book says that to paint this fender is 2.7 hours. Okay, so we're gonna say that the painter gets that. Going by regular body shop standards, okay? So the painter gets 2.7 to paint this fender, okay? Let's say again that the estimate, the damage was closer, like I originally drew it, all the way over here. So they gotta blend the door. So to blend the door is gonna be, let's just say 2.2. That's hours, 2.2 hours to blend that door and this fender. And of course they had to paint the bumper because the bumper got scraped over here and all that. And they ended up replacing, I think on the estimate I put down for replacement. So I think I showed you. So now, the labor for the tech to iron out the bumper was 2.2. And, or 2.8, make it a little bit healthier. The repair for the fender was that amount. R&I the light, and R&I, because now it's not the painter just involved. Now they have what they call the belt molding. You gotta take that off. Usually front doors come with a mirror. So there's also this mirror here that has to be removed. Okay, the painter doesn't do that. And let's just say that it has a body side molding down here. Okay, the painter doesn't take that off either. So now this Mr. Tech gets paid, let's say, 0.3 for that, another half an hour to take the handle off, another 0.3 for taking the belt molding off. Okay, the mirror is here, the handle is here, and the molding. Now the molding, he'll get paid for taking that off, but there's more labor involved with the molding. Now, you absolutely have to take the molding off in order to paint that door, because you're not gonna paint over the molding. Some people would, but, you know, depending on what shop you are. But, especially if it's the same color, 'cause when they started, in the old days, they make the moldings, oh, and it looks so good with chrome moldings or black moldings, or, you know, lately when they do, if they put moldings on, they make it the same color as a car. And so it's not so, it looks more sporty when there's no moldings inside. But you need moldings to protect it, so you gotta take it off. The only problem is that they come with an adhesive. When you take that molding off, if it's a Ford, forget it, you're gonna have to replace it because it'll warp the shit out of it. When you take it out, there's a piece of aluminum in the back of that molding. When you take it off, you rip it off, that will never go back on straight, ever. So it has to be replaced, and the insurance company know that, so they'll replace it. But we're going back to all the labors, right? So basically, he's blending this, so he gets 2.2 for blending. He's got to paint the bumper, so that's let's just say 3.2 for the painting of the bumper, and then that's the painter. The technician, let's just say he got paid half an hour for that, and another half hour. So another 0.3 for all the R&I work that he's doing. Oh, plus another 3 for the light. So let's make that 1.6. These are just more. It's not exactly what they may be. The book will tell you what R&I labors are. This is just things just bouncing off of my head labor-wise. So now we're gonna add this up. So this 2.2 and 3.2, that makes it 5.4, right? 5.4 plus 2 is what?
7.4.
7.4 plus 7, that's
8.1.
8.1. So the total here is 8.1. Same thing over here. We got 2, 3, we got 7 plus 8 plus 6. This one is 8.4, right?
Yeah.
The addition for that one?
Yeah.
So now we got a tech who's getting paid 8.4 hours. And the painter, for this particular job, he's getting 8.1. Now, how does that, I mean, in your mind, what do you think it took for him to do that? Because it certainly, he's a hell of a terrible painter if it took him 8 hours. Huh?
Yeah, for one panel, yeah.
Okay, 8 hours is not gonna take him an hour to paint this, this, and this. I mean, not gonna, you know, of course, prep time is involved there.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to introduce to you guys is what is called flag time. So, what the hell is flag time? Does anybody know what flag time is? You probably don't.
It's pretty much telling you what they're flagging for that specific job, how many hours it's going to entitle to do that job.
Right. Which means that there is no clock. When it comes to technicians, there is no clock. That's why a lot of body technicians and a lot of painters, they go as they please, because they're basically in a roundabout way, unless they make other arrangements, they're all independent contractors. So this technician, so somebody got a calculator? Well,
Yeah,
right?
I need the phone.
The phone. So let's use the phone here. This is called flag time. So
16 and a half.
yeah, so we go by the technician first. So 8.4, let's just say you're getting paid $54 an hour, which is the going rate, $54 an hour. So for this job, the shop is getting, technician-wise, they're getting $453.60. Now, the technician for those 8.4 hours, depending on whatever deal you make, the average technician makes $20 per flag hour. So That technician will make out of that, so it's $20 multiplied by 8.4, he makes $168. The technician makes $168 for doing that job, for that particular case. So this is nothing, this is like all in half a morning's work. My wife's shops, they got technicians that do 150 hours a week, because they have the work there. So 150 hours a week, I mean, they do this all day long. 150 hours a week times $20 an hour. So that technician made $3,000 this week. So now these hours are made, they're designed to be if you were working with manual tools. That's why you see the top-notch technicians, they would have sometimes $10,000-$15,000 worth of tools in their I'm a technician, I work in my shop. I don't like your shop, I'm gonna go to this other shop, and he rolls it in, he calls in a tow truck because it's too heavy to carry. The tow truck will bring it into the new shop. And then if I was the manager of that shop, I'd go say, okay, I wanna hire you, but I have a test. Let me see what you have in your toolbox. And if I see any parts of any car, and there's, I'm sorry, I can't use it. Why? Because that's something, a part that he didn't put on the car. You see? And he has it in his toolbox, dilly-dallying around, fucking around.
I mean, could it be an old part? Could always be an old
Well, I'm not talking about little clips and, you know, Christmas trees and little things like that. By the way, Christmas trees are these little clips that is used all over the automotive industry that they look like a Christmas tree. And at the end of the thing, they have like a little knot, and you shove that in a hole and it doesn't come out. Why? Because it has like these like fish hooks in there, you know.
They're one way, yeah.
Yeah, but in the industry, they're called Christmas trees. Clips. Okay, so that's how technicians get paid in regular body shops. That's why when they're interviewing for jobs as well, how many hours would you be able to guarantee these? I can guarantee you at least 100 hours a week. You start thinking, well, you know, wait a minute, you know, you guys are thinking this. There's only 40 hours. I'm only going to work for 40 hours. Well, we're expected for you to work only 40 hours. Or you can work 50 hours if you want, if you're really hungry. But if you're going to work for 50 hours, you better come up with 150 hours of flag time. You know what I mean? Because that's what they do. So in other words, flag time is different than regular flag time. This one, it's paid for the job. It's a particular job.
Yep.
It pays for a certain task. And he went out there and he spent the money on the tools to make his job faster and easier. He spent the money. He spent the money to have these special tools. You know, there's a guy that kind of does the same thing that I do. He spent the money. He went to Volvo. But Volvos are now being made in Germany. Some of them are still being made in Sweden. But he went to Volvo and he got trained by Volvo people how to diagnose electrical stuff and all the safety shit that they have and all that stuff. And now he works independently, and the shit that the Volvo technicians can't figure out, they have to call him. So he's, you know, he makes the money because they have to hire him, because he actually went to the factory in Europe and learn how to do all this stuff correctly, the way it's supposed to be, you know. So it's all in there. All in
That
there.
explains why there's so many, like, I'm starting to see a lot of specialty shops like BMW.
Imports.
Yeah, imports a lot. Like, you remember that day you helped me out with Bronson right around the corner from there? They built a spot only for BMWs right there,
We have
right on
my
Green Valley,
the
where
morning
the bend is.
in my mornings I have it's kind of like my home away from home. Because I spend most mornings there in a company called AutoSpec. They consider me the director because director doesn't have to be there all the time, and I can go about my other businesses and stuff. But I spend my time there. They've been in business for 9 years, and it's called AutoSpec LV European. Well, the only shit that get there is BMWs, Lambos, Mercedes, all the high-end stuff where the people don't want to go to the dealer. The thing is that the dealer doesn't know half of the stuff he knows because he's been more working with so many of these stuff that it's actually a pretty good deal to go there because he's only going to charge $135 where the dealers are probably right around $175 now for those specialty cars, and that's where I spend my mornings.
So when you said $54, I mean, did you mean that's
kind of
the
like
standard for
that?
the
Well,
shop price?
it's kind of like on the high end because State Farm is the one that kind of sort of controls it because they're the ones that are always they're the first ones to, we were at 48 for many years. Now we took the survey and this and that, and okay, we're gonna start paying the people $54 an hour. So now because they did it, then we start basically. Let's say you get an estimate in Allstate. Allstate will pay you $52 an hour. But let's just say they fucked up and they missed a couple items, and I'm kind of cussing here, huh?
All right.
Anyway, don't.
It's just us that's gonna watch it.
But anyway, so what happens is this Allstate, since you have to call them anyway, because normally you would let it fly for the $52 an hour, but because you're now replacing something that they missed, we found out that the guy got hit so hard, and even though he did a really, really good job on estimating everything, he missed the fan. The fan is kind of rubbing against the radiator, and the fan assembly needs to be replaced. So since you're already having to do a supplement anyway, so just to keep the momentum going, says okay, you start out and wait. Most insurance companies, they would prefer that you match their estimate first, because that's called writing a supplement. The supplement is when you have an insurance write a certain amount of money, and you think, but say they missed this, they missed this, they missed it, and then in order for you to get the rest of the money to completely fix the car, you have to write a supplement. Well, that supplement, I have my own way of doing it. And it doesn't involve matching anything because I don't have the time to match anything. So I will teach you that, coming up next week. But as far as supplements and stuff like that, but the fact is that they, at that particular time, involving with the amount, we go. The first 3 lines of my supplement will be. Total of 14 hours that were originally given on the first estimate. 14.2 hours were given on the first estimate. At 52, our shop is at 54, so therefore the difference is this. So 14 hours of 52, I'm gonna up it $2 more, so 14 hours times 2, that's $28 that I'm gonna add to my supplement, because they didn't pay me 54, they paid me only 52. So that goes up. since I gotta replace something else anyway. Whew, okay. Oh, they were lost, okay. I get home, I have a redness, man.
Yeah,
My
right.
clients.
Yeah.
You basically your entire life is involved getting every bit of money that you can from the insurance companies, because they never ever pay enough, especially when you gotta pay, if you want a top-notch technician that you want him to find a home and this and that, that's the kind of money you're gonna have to pay him, for them to. But think about it. Every time you gotta give him $20, basically he's giving you 34 because he's completing a job that you're not gonna do. So your shop is making 34 bucks, and that's just labor. Obviously, for any part that you sell, you're gonna make money on that, percentage wise. Let's just say the insurance company wants you to buy a $200 fender. Well, you're gonna pay $200 for that fender. You're allowed to, I'll show you how to do that. You're allowed to mark that up 25%. Now, I like to, for anything that I have to buy in my shop, I like to get at least 33%, but it's always an ongoing battle between the insurance companies wanting to give you what you want and what they want to give you, but back and forth on everything. There's such bean counters that for years, the glass rate was when the body shop rate was at $44 an hour, the glass rate was at $35, because there's a lot of money to be made in glass, in cars.
Mm-hmm.
There's good profit margin in glass. So, in a particular case, let's just say that at one point you got to replace a quarter panel. Now, the book will tell you a quarter panel being a part of the car that basically has to be cut out. That part of the car has to be cut out in order for you to replace it, put something else new in there, So they got these bean counters that they're trying to figure out. They're out in some dungeon somewhere, and they're trying to figure out how they could, save money for the insurance company. So let's say the standard quarter panel of a vehicle. So you got your window there, and this happens to be I don't know, think of an LTD or something.
An LTD?
Yeah,
A Ford LTD?
Ford LTD.
Okay.
Okay, so you got your bumper there, body. Yeah, that's the left quarter vehicle. So the book says in order to replace that is 16 hours. 16 hours at $54 an hour is not too bad, boom, boom, 16 hours. So 16 hours times 54, how much is it?
Hey, right now. 864.
Okay, so in order to replace that quarter pound, it's gonna cost $864 of labor. Okay? 16 hours times 54. 16 hours times 54
An hour.
equals 80, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these bean counters come up and says, it's 16 hours. 16 hours to replace the quarter, but part of that labor task is removing the old glass because it was tinted and this and that, and they got to remove the old glass. But you know what? It takes 3.4 hours to remove that glass. Okay? But let's do this. Let's take away 3 hours from the 16 hours. Let's take away 3 hours and pay them at $35 an hour. Because, you know, it's glass labor, it's not body labor. So then they'll shut this down to 13 hours
13.
now. And now 13 times 54 is what? So it used to be
$702.
864, right? So now it's 700 and how much?
$702.
Okay. And now how much is 3 hours times 35 is what? 105 or what?
Yep, 105.
Okay, so 105.
Mhm.
Okay, so these geniuses came up with all that, and now 8. So 8. So that's 807, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So see, they went through all that trouble to save the insurance company, what, about $50-some?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how paid they are. You see? So there's a okay, well, glass labor is not body labor. But the whole task was supposed to be done in body to begin with. You know? They stopped doing that because, you know what, most shops decided to, you know what, the hell with the $35 an hour. We're gonna go, glass labor from now on is gonna be $54 an hour. So, pangulo to you, you know? So, they're always forever trying to figure out ways to save money. Yeah, quarter pounds. Quarter pounds are, you can almost, if you get hit in the rear bumper of this car, let's just say maybe at, this is the rear of the car, let's just say that maybe your impact was closer to this area, to the left side of the car. You know, being that this is the rear of the car and you're going forward this way, right? So you got hit there. More than likely, you're gonna end up with some damage in this area here. Now, you say, well, it got hit there. No, it didn't get hit there. It got hit back here in the back. But this area here got damaged, and it's called related non-direct. Related damage, non-direct. For the simple reason that nothing hit it, it's just that it's part of the unibody, and you got hit in the back, and then it started to buckle this area here. Okay? So the book will tell you that to paint that quarter panel, now that after you fix it, let's just, the insurance company noticed it and it's okay, you know, we're gonna give you another 2.5 hours to fix your dent here, 2.5, but it just so happens that this is the whole car. So whenever you're painting a quarter panel here, the insurance company will not automatically give you this here. And it's called the outer roof. The outer roof painting the outer roof. It has nothing to do, it could be just as perfect as it was before, but they need to pay you for the outer roof because there's no way to cut it. You see, there's no way to cut it from the quarter. So, I mean, it isn't like if it happened to have a molding here, it's okay, no problem. We don't have to paint the outer roof. But because it doesn't have a molding here, I have to repair this damage, blend it, and then clear the whole thing all the way up to here to the front windshield. And that's called the outer roof. And if you don't ask for it, there's an area in the pillars, that section, that they will not give it to you unless you ask for it. You see? So that's how you get more money. It's just all about getting more money from them. Does everybody get it?
Yep.
Yes. Non-direct, related, non-direct. Now, this you gain with experience, but here's the thing. You got a car that, I like Porsche, so I'm gonna go up Porsche here.
Which one? 928?
No, I'm old school. I like the 356s.
Oh.
That's what I had in Germany, right? I drove that sucker at 200 kilometers per hour. Not miles, kilometers, but I was still going.
Yeah.
I don't think I like adrenaline. Anyway, so the car came in and has a dent here. In this area of the car, got hit there or whatever. Now, it just so happens that 6 months earlier, they had a little scrape here. Now, naturally, if you're gonna be painting the bumper, you might as well go ahead and, this is the sort of thing that you can do as a courtesy, because you got a customer that you care about, you want him to come back. You got a good customer, he gives you another 10 customers. So we got an asshole customer and complaining all the time, he's not good for you. He's gonna lose you 10 customers.
Yeah.
So you could either fix this area for him at no cost and just tell the painter to eat it, because he's gonna paint the whole bumper anyway. But obviously this area here, this is related to the loss, and this is not related, because it happened 6 months ago, and you can tell, not related. Okay. So if you have an idea what you're up against as far as things that get related and not related. Now, oftentimes, and this happens a lot, let's say with a hit right in this area, it just so happens that maybe the tire was turning this way, and the tire got hit, but it got hit in such a way that it didn't damage the wheel or nothing. So you have to look for areas there to see if the tire got hit, drive it. They have what they call the 3-point inspection, what we talked about in the suspension. You put your steering wheel straight, straight, and your other wheels. You see how, or if not, you can test drive it. Once the people sign, you can test drive the car around the block to see how it acts. If it veers to the left, that means the tire got hit. Boom. And it's going to require an alignment. You don't care that it needed an alignment before the accident. It needs an alignment now, okay? So, so you wanna have that car come out of your shop the best way it can, and might as well get the insurance company to pay for it. So, hey, and then you get people like yo-yos that say, well, unless I see the tire get damaged or something like that, then I can't allow the alignment. The alignment.
Any accident, you should always be up for your line. Correct. That's what you said yesterday.
Well,
anytime it gets hit, your alignment.
you should request an alignment.
Okay.
Now, you could test drive it, and if it drives fine and straight, then you save yourself $119. Problem is that now at this moment, insurance company only want to pay $69.95 for an alignment. Okay, but if you go anywhere, I always quote A's Auto Center. They're in the center of town here, and I happen to know the gal that works there, the service writer. Her name is Nikki, and she charges $119. So I always put out her phone number and all that, because I want to get in $119. I don't want to pay, because it's going to cost me $100 with her. And you know, like everything else, we were talking about brisket yesterday. $17 from 6 months ago to now $36 for a pound of brisket. You know, it's crazy, right? So alignments are now that amount. It's going to take a little bit for the insurance company to find out once they get enough supplements showing that price, because that's what things cost nowadays. The 3-point inspections is just kind of like for you to see while the car's parked and you're by yourself with the steering wheel right in the center, and you go in the front and see how the tire looks. You can tell if it's, you know, this damage, that damage, if it's this way or that way, you know.
I just replaced the tires on my car, so I got 4-way alignment.
Yeah.
I paid $89
$89, okay.
for 4-way.
But that's still a good price,
Yeah.
but because they're charging $119 nowadays.
Yeah.
And unless you're a shop, then they'll charge you a little bit less. But the part where, let's say for example, right now I'm gonna sit down for a little bit. The part that, you know, you might want to take a page for this one. Theft recovered vehicles.
Say that again, please.
Theft recovered vehicles. So this is where, you know, the good old jolly customers, you don't want to, you got a car that, you know, here's what happens when a vehicle gets stolen. The car's gone. Now, it gets reported. My car's been gone for 2 days now. I thought I called in. I thought it was the insurance was going to find it real fast, but I mean, the police was going to find it real fast, but they didn't. My car's still missing. So there'll be a police report, and the car's gone. Now, the car, the insurance company has 30 days to either come up with the car that the policy got found. I mean, they have nothing to do with it. Police will find it. If they don't find it, the insurance company then has to pay for the car after 30 days. So 30 days is the key for theft recovery.
30 days.
30 days, yeah. So like you got Joe Blow, it's just blew out his engine, and he goes and says, hey, he goes to his best buddy and says, hey, you know, I blew out my engine, but you know, I just really don't like that car anymore. Hey, can you keep it in your garage for 30 days?
So 30 days before they declare the total loss, you mean, or just loss altogether?
It's a theft, it's a loss. You're gonna pay off the car. So now, you know, before you blow out your engine, your car was worth $6,000. But now that you blow out your engine, your car is only worth maybe $2,000. You know, because you don't. For one thing, the car doesn't run. You blow out your engine. So you're gonna have it at your friend's house. Or he's gonna keep it in his garage for 30 days. Because you don't want it around your neighborhood, and you better have a good friend, because he's committing a felony by hoarding your car there, But there's been people that known to do that, so. Anyway, at the end of the 30 days, the insurance company will settle for what your car was worth at the time. Now, here's what happens, how insurance companies value cars. They value a particular car. Of course, the mileage has a lot to do with it, but what is commonly known is they call it an ACV, an actual cash value. So they'll say, well, see, the last time I had my oil change on that car before it was taken, I think it was 74,000 miles on it. So they'll give the benefit of the doubt to the customer and say, okay, 74,000. It was a 2017 Elantra, got stolen. Boom, boom. They'll come up with a price. Now that price is based on the average of maybe 5 vehicles of the same type that got changed. Now, they got priced or they're for sale. So 3 of them they actually get from ads of that same type of vehicle, same year, same model, and all that. That were being sold. Then they get a price they do the computation from the NADA book. It's NADA. Or then they do another computation from the Kelly Blue book. So at the end of the day, they have 5 prices, and they average it out. And usually it's pretty generous, So you had that Elantra, 2017 Elantra. I mean, all day long, you can find them for $6,000 or something. So let's just say that after they do the ACV, in your mind, that car's only worth $2,000 because you blew up the engine and whatever, So they're gonna give you, let's just say they'll give you. The average came out to 63, so it's a little bit not too bad, for the amount that they want to give you. So, and by the way, if you're ever in that situation, tell your customers, they'll appreciate it too. Says, hey, at the end of the whole negotiation period of averaging what they want to give you and all that, let's just say you're happy with the money that they want to give you. Yeah, we're going to give you $6,300 for your used car. That's not too bad. But you're thinking this in your mind. It says, okay, you know what? Come up with this in negotiating again. Okay, so you're saying, tell you what, you give me $6,500 and I'll sign the papers today. You're already happy with 63, but why not get another 200? So, give me 65 and I'll sign the papers. They want to get rid of it. Believe me. Okay, you're 65. That's how you do it, kind of thing. But now you got to go and help your friend move that car out of there so it gets found in some desert place somewhere.
There's a lot of irregularities that have happened. Rob, if I may just interject and say this. COVID-19 has caused a lot of irregularities in the car business.
Oh, yeah.
In ways that you can't even imagine. Case in point.
Yeah.
Going back to my 2018 Buick Regal. I bought it for $13,000, right?
Yes.
I got very little payments left on it. And like maybe $3,000, $4,000, something like that. Do you know, even with a salvage title, Carvana will buy my car right now for $15,500 because of how much car values have gone up as a result of COVID, especially for mid-size. They're looking for a lot of mid-size cars.
Yeah.
Not the larger cars, not the land yachts, but
No.
mid-sized cars and smaller cars,
Yeah.
especially with 4 cylinders.
Transportation cars. People want to be safe. They don't want to spend. It's like, I was an idiot for many years. I used to buy brand new cars. In fact, the last brand new cars that I bought two that same day. Took them home, one for him, one for her. One for me, one for my wife. And why do we do that? I'm in the car business. I can get cars left and right. You're married to a Cuban wife. Yo quiero del año. I want a new one.
That's why I'm smart. I've never had a Cuban woman in my
Mother of my
life.
kids is Cuban.
Yeah, no, yeah. Me, I'm smart. I got an American woman. I would never date a Hispanic woman, ever. Of any nationality. Not me. They're too bossy.
Well,
Yeah, like your wife.
but you're also missing out.
I'm not missing out on anything.
Yes.
Missing out.
Yes.
Missing out? Are you kidding me?
I believe. Well, there's no way to compare it.
Yeah, don't take me there because white girls put out way more than Hispanic girls. Hispanic girls are like this. And white girls and black girls, and you guys know these guys have ever been with white women?
Well,
They put out way more than Hispanic women. That's not true.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if sex is what
No, I'm saying put out everything. I'm talking about everything.
Yeah, it all depends. It's all.
I don't
it's
know,
all
man.
relative. It's all
I got a Cuban sister and I got a Cuban mom. That's enough for me.
When I ask the kids if mom's cooking, it's
Yeah, but I'm the
there's no way
cooking.
to compare on that.
Yeah, but I'm the cook in my relationship. And I'm the Cuban one.
There you go.
I did tell you guys that I was telling him because I ran a topless club for a while. But my friends was in Thailand and his father got into a heart attack and this and that, and he was ill for a long time, and I was single at the time. I was supposed to be there for just 2 or 3 months to help out, but I ended up staying 2 years, and I had my share. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So there's nothing like a Cuban girl.
No.
That's just my personal choice.
You got it. Yeah. It's good. They're nice to look at, but that's it. I got Cuban women all about, man.
Yeah.
Too bossy. Way too bossy. I like to be. I run my household with the face.
No. As long as I've always, we've been married so long, and it wasn't because we have kids, we have a life, we have children, and everything like this, and I don't know. I really not really. I would feel like I'd rather not be alive if I didn't have my wife. To be honest with you, that's kind of like my personal feeling. But I'm not, and I've been around. I've been around prior, okay, but there's nothing. I mean, I cannot picture myself alone.
Me either. Yeah, me either. I agree with that one. I'm not the type of guy to be alone.
Yeah. Anyway,